This is Jed MacKay, and you're listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast.
Yes, welcome back, Looney listeners. You are listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast. This is episode 270, and you are with your High Priests of Khonshu, Rebecca and Ray. And there it is. Hey, how you going, Rebecca?
Doing all right. Doing all right, yeah.
Doing all right, good. I thought, again, I'd play with the bells and whistles, and there we go.
It looks good.
Now we can take our names off. Yeah, so
yeah, that's perfect. People should know them by now.
Exactly. Anyway, welcome, listeners. It's another fun-filled adventure. It is a Moonshine again. Now we've been blessed with a new comic again in the space within a month of our Moon Knight comics. So we'll be looking at Devil's Reign Moon Knight. It's a one-shot, and it's by Jed MacKay, Federico, Sabbatini, and Loughridge. So yeah, Rebecca, I mean, this was exciting. Were you excited about this so shortly after Moon Knight 9?
It's always exciting. I mean, it's getting us in the vibe for when we've got like black, white, and blood as well. So you know, it's just cool to have it. And also, I think we've been waiting to see what happened in the Devil's Reign tie-in. You know, for a couple of because we weren't sure how it fit in with the last two issues, so it kind of feels like we're coming to this a bit late, but it was nice to finally have it.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a shame, I guess. It's not too bad, but just with the references in Moon Knight 9 that did reference this issue, which came out a week later, you know, just, you know, for purists or whatever you call them, it's just a little bit annoying, but it's fine. It's still a great story. It's a good one-shot. Before we dive straight into it, Loonies, a big shout-out, of course, to our patroonies, all of the patroonie members. Thank you so much for all your ongoing support, as well as top-tier patroonies, Drew Toombs of Toombs and Luke Music, Daniel Doing of Fringe Night, Collectors Comics by Collectors, and Dreamland Comics from Schoenberg, Illinois. And Rebecca as well, there are a couple of other shout-outs that we must mention. First off being a couple of birthdays on the 9th of March.
Yeah, just small little birthdays. Our Moon Knight himself, Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac, a big happy birthday to Oscar on the 9th of March. And someone shares the same birthday.
Me too, yeah.
Yes,
He's
happy
my
birthday.
Twin. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Rebecca. I mean, it's always fun to share these things, and we can share it to a greater audience.
Yeah, it was very surprising finding that Oscar Isaac was the person who shared my birthday, but I, wasn't upset about that.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. And you did
not bad to have a Moon Knight issue coming out on my birthday either. So
no, yeah, not at all. And self-contained, and we'll get into our thoughts about it very, very shortly indeed. I'm just trying to think of any other news on Moon Knight. There was a release.
You posted the thing about the music for the show.
Yeah, so
I don't remember the name, but he's an Egyptian composer.
Yes, that's right. So there's the composer for the Moon Knight TV show has been released, which is very exciting indeed. I know Drew over on Discord was saying, he's given it a thumbs up. So if Drew has,
cool. Well, I mean, it gets thumbs up from me in advance. So.
Exactly.
We're almost at proper countdown levels, aren't we?
I have the countdown.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally 3 weeks now.
Yeah. I have on my phone a countdown timer, and it's 20 days over here.
Do.
Yeah, it's so 20 days,
well,
Rebecca.
I mean, 20 days over here as well, but I'm rounding up to 3 weeks.
Exactly. So. Well, exactly. But yeah, I can't believe how quick. I mean, I say quick.
It feels like it went really slow, and now it's all of a sudden quick.
Yeah, well, and we have been waiting for it for a long time. I mean, there has been talk about it.
And there's a Disney Investor Day today, so we might get some more news.
Oh, of course, that's right. You posted it up not that long ago as well. So when is that
so
out? Like time of recording?
It'll be pretty early tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Tomorrow, and for you, and late at night for me, and sometime in the evening for Americans.
Something, yeah. So keep your eyes out. I'm sure there are some vigilant loonies there that will keep us all abreast of the happenings there, and I'll, as always, I'll wake up to the news. And
fully from me.
Yeah, I mean, I always try to,
it's so hard.
Australia, we're meant to be in the future. I'm trying to make good of this
but
deal.
On the flip side, when Moon Knight the TV show drops, it's good timing for us and like midnight for Americans.
Well, yeah, that's true. I'm not complaining about that.
So like we benefit when it actually matters.
Not complaining about that at all. A little bit of other idle chat. We've got something here from Tomes of Evil. Rebecca, there's a question aimed towards you. I know that you did go see it, right? So
I did go see it, yeah.
See it.
It.
What did you think?
I thought it was good. I don't know what else to say. I mean, it was good. It was. I thought the cast was spectacular. I thought the music was fantastic, and I thought it was too long. I think it could have lost at least 20 minutes of atmospheric beauty. There was a lot of. I noticed there was a lot of orphans and no robins. So I feel they could correct that. I thought it was very good. I think it's still sort of sitting with me a bit, and no silly English accents. In fact, all the English people were covering up with pretty good American ones, I'd have said. Yeah. So,
I mean, of course, and I know you don't mean it in any disparaging way, Rebecca, but yeah, I mean, of course, we know Oscar Isaac's accent is intentional.
It's meant to be stupid. Yeah. I have no...
Yeah, exactly.
I'm totally like every time I watch the trailer now, I'm less upset about it.
Yeah.
Like I'm just kind of, I think just that first time when we weren't expecting it, it was like, what is going on? Yeah. Now when I turn it on, I'm like, all right, yeah, okay.
I always feel kind of bad. Yeah, I always feel kind of bad for you. I mean, it is a bad accent, but it doesn't grate on me as much as you. So whenever I do hear it or see it in the trailers, I'm thinking, oh gosh, Rebecca's probably shaking her head.
No, but like, look, I thought the film was great, but obviously I'm much more excited for Moon Knight.
Yay! That is that's a bullseye. Perfect answer there, Rebecca. And Russell,
the real Dark Knight.
Russell, of course, I have seen it less than 100 times. I know you said no less, but I've seen it less than 100.
No one has the time to watch it 100 times since it's been released. It's so long.
Yeah, well, I've heard, as you mentioned already, second off the rank, I heard the music's phenomenal. So actually, I want to maybe see it or sample the music. I've heard it's really good. So
I heard somebody said they'd been working to it, and I was like, why would you work to it? And then when I watched the film, I was like, you know what? I actually might get the soundtrack and just listen to it because it's beautiful.
Yeah, I'll listen to it as well. So anyway, Rebecca, shall we get onto this very special issue? Now, before and again for the live streamers and the video watchers out there, before I do a magical transition, again, thank you to CMK7, beep boop, beep boop, boop, Chris Kelly. I just wanted to say again, Russell has added in. It is very much indeed a very special issue for Tomes of Evil.
Like a gift, really.
It is a gift, isn't it? And Jed had no qualms with revealing it to them, especially when he came onto their show, which everyone should listen to. Go check out Tomes of Evil, and especially the interview with Jed MacKay. He's an awesome guy. So it was really great to see there. All right, listeners, we might head on to our Moonshine.
I'm literally blown away by that
so
graphic.
Cool, isn't it? So cool. Big shout out to Chris there. You have done exceptionally well.
You've actually outdone yourself. It's one of the best things I've seen.
I think you've broken Rebecca.
I don't even know why I'm laughing. I just thought it was great. I wasn't expecting to be quite that.
How cool was that? I know, it's awesome. So
I now feel stalked by Moon Knight in all the best ways.
And I love, thank you, Chris. I can't remember if we discussed it, but he's used the OG music for that. So fantastic. So anyway, yes, Rebecca and I are here for Devil's Reign, Moon Knight #1. It's a one-shot. As mentioned earlier on, released March 9th, or actually, as I call it, Rebecca Day, 2022, with writer Jed MacKay, penciler inker, we have seen him before, Federico Sabbatini, colorist Loughridge, letterer VC's Petit, and editor Tom Brevoort, with a cover by Reis. Fantastic cover there. Rebecca got all the tongues wagging when that came out.
His art, so I'm so happy he's done a cover for Moon Knight.
It's available on floppy and digital, of course. And what we're going to do, again, listeners, we're going to go through a bare bones, a synopsis, hastily written this time, like every time, by me. Rebecca and I will go through aspects. This was really late. Rebecca, you and I were talking about it. We read this really, really late.
We both read it about an hour and a half ago. Yeah,
exactly.
So it means it should be fresh in our minds, right?
True. And truth be told as well, you know, it's in my pile. It's just I haven't had a chance to go to my LCS, and I'm sure similar with the Rebecca, it coming in the mail. So we'll go through some aspects and then some comments on writing and art themes. There were a fair few references. I did not get time to do the homework with them, but we'll go through them anyway.
Yeah. People can correct us on that. Like we might be a bit flimsy on the references. So
yeah, for sure. And we'll cap that off with a moon rating system. Again, the Connor Shoes rating system. Fantastic from Connor. And I see your score, Rebecca, and I see mine. So that's good.
Yeah. We actually did them in advance.
Rebecca, would you be so kind as to go through?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Once again, any mistakes are raised. And I will try and read this sight unseen. Okay, the plot. Street crim 8-Ball discovers his cellmate is none other than Moon Knight, and it immediately sends chills not only through the criminal's mind, but to many of those incarcerated within the Myrmidon. 8-Ball tries to ingratiate himself to some of the local gangs, such as the Wrecking Crew and the Enforcers, but to no avail. Upon being confronted by Captain Confusion, 8-Ball is saved by his cellmate, who reminds the notorious captain where he got his scar from. Much to 8-Ball's relief, he's saved, but it's not long before Moon Knight is stopped by a guard and taken to the showers to get clean. Not quite as dodgy as it sounds, but almost. There, Moon Knight is met by Captain Confusion and his gang, but Moon Knight makes short work of the bloodthirsty crew, and he walks out the shower block. As he walks out the shower block, he asks the guard if he can take part in the underground fight scene. Mountain Marco is the reigning champ, and it's after a slew of fights with other contestants that Moon Knight is able to set up a match against the man they call a Mountain. The event arrives, and Moon Knight and Mountain Marco engage in a brutal battle. I'm sure you did this on purpose. Both landing blows and both drawing blood. As Moon Knight is struck down, he reminisces about a recent chat he had at the Midnight Mission before the event of Devil's Reign. It's Marco's wife, and she sought help from Mr. Knight as she's afraid for her daughter's safety. Mr. Knight reassures her that he'll protect her and her daughter, and, cutting back to the present day, Moon Knight rises from the floor and viciously attacks Mountain Marco, letting him know that his intention of getting caught by Fisk and getting thrown into prison was all a plan to get at Mountain Marco. Marco is beaten, but not before he threatens to still go after his family once he's freed from prison. I said I'd never let you see them again. And with that, Moon Knight gouges the eyes of Marco, rendering him blind. Prisoners and wardens alike are horrified, and after a brief battle, the guards take Moon Knight to solitary confinement. Locked up, Moon Knight chats with 8-Ball, who's on cleaning detail just outside the cell. Moon Knight vows that although the Avengers and the likes of the Fantastic Four do not like him, they essentially need him, a wild dog, if they plan to take the fight to Fisk to reclaim reclaim the city.
Yeah, so that is this very self-contained one-shot. I thought it was pretty well written, Rebecca. But overall, we'll get into the details of the art and the writing and how they all kind of mesh. But what did you make of this?
I thought it was good. I thought it had some interesting bits. I thought it was a little bit generic prison story.
Mm-hmm.
But there was some nuance there. Like, I liked Mark standing up for 8-Ball when he was, like, as his cellmate. He very quickly kind of almost adopts, again, someone to look after. I like the fact he went in, obviously, to protect this wife and kid, who's obviously not far off Beatrice's age. So that would have hit hard to Mark. I guess, look, I know the thing we're not talking about yet is the ramping up of the violence. It's good,
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. It's not something I've been desperate for in the same way as other people, but it is good to see what happens when he does kind of break bad and just go for it. And the fact that that's always within him, even where we're seeing him, I think like the last issue we were talking about him solving the problem without violence.
Yes. Yeah.
That's why it kind of would have been nice to get this one first, to see him
Yeah,
go full
you're
on,
right. True.
like Bushman, almost Bushman violent level, and then come back to this. Oh, no, but when I'm back out, I like the fact he got captured, because I think we were all like, oh, would he have got captured when he's quite good at hiding out?
Mm-hmm.
So I like the fact he got captured on purpose. I think that's nice. I think that's definitely a writer protecting their character.
Yeah.
Like going, but I thought it was a little bit mean on the Avengers and the Fantastic Four, like hating him, because it didn't seem that way in the last issue of Devil's Reign we saw him in, where they were just they were talking to him, they weren't sort of treating him particularly bad. But then again, we have just had Age of Khonshu, so like, why would they treat him well as well?
Yeah.
Right now.
So
there was a little. That was the bit. The only bit I really had quibbles with, and some of the art. But
okay, yeah. I mean, it may have been like a complex that Mark has again. That may not be the truth. It might be in his head that they don't really like him. So
that's true. That's very true.
Yeah. It did set up.
Especially coming out of Age of Khonshu.
Oh yeah.
And maybe maybe they didn't invite him to eat at their table, but. Mm-hmm. Maybe he didn't ask, so...
Yeah, true. But yeah, I mean, it did set up a great... I mean, art-wise, I thought that last page, Sabbatini did a good job just to show, I guess, the wild dog nature of Moon Knight. Yeah. This is the first time we've kind of really... It's a real strange description, I think. Interesting that Jed had Moon Knight describe himself as a wild dog. Maybe hearkening to Werewolf by Night, something like, I don't know, maybe that kind of thing. But yeah, he certainly was a lot more brutal here. I like your point, Rebecca, about how if this did come before, I reckon it would have reinforced even more the fact that Moon Knight didn't use violence in issue 9, and that would have been like so cool, it's such a different tact, because this is really chalk and cheese. But yeah,
but then he's definitely on a mission here, he's on a mission that's very separate from the other missions. Like, he has to do those fights to get to Man Mountain. I can't.
Man Marco Man.
I'm just gonna call it Marco Mountain Man.
Probably Mountain Dew.
If he knows that there's this underground fight and he has to get to do this tournament, he has to step up his violence, because these are these are prisoners and villains and who are all out going all on for it, so he's got to. So it's I don't think he has an option here. So I mean, Chad just said a mission from God, and it's kind of is like that. Like, he knows where he has to be at the end, and he has to have a level of violence. I guess the snap is the gouging the eyes out. Like, we know he's capable of that. Everyone, that's his famous thing, is like what violence he's capable of at it. But we've seen him hold back a lot lately. But this is kind of him, like, knowing what he has to do, and finally he needs to protect this woman and kid.
Yep.
Like, he's not just doing it for, like, He's not doing it for fun or for joy or for to just be bloody. Like there is a point to it, and I kind of appreciated that.
Yes,
that we weren't seeing him just go, oh yeah, I fancy being like super violent.
Yeah, I mean, it's a far cry. We do get mentions of two things. One thing, what he did to Bushman, he repeats that twice, and he actually threatens Mountain Marco with that. Also, as well, the moons carved into the foreheads. A lot of the prisoners, were shit scared of him because he's Moon Knight, and they did this to him. It also again showed his kick-assedness with that shower.
And it is super interesting that like after that we're seeing that there's no worry about the fact he's not wearing a mask and just going around telling people I'm Moon Knight.
Yeah.
In a prison, like there's until he asks for his mask.
It's not like Daredevil in Devil's Reign where he constantly wore that mask.
Off,
yeah. So here, Moon Knight just doesn't care. Like he'll wear it for a fight, but he's openly, his face is exposed to his cellmate. And
I wonder if maybe even with the violence at each stage, he's literally just doing what he needs to get to where he needs to be.
Yeah.
And it really is just the eye gouging where Marco's not even accepting defeat and saying, I'm still going to go and like get them. Yeah. And he's like, no, you're not. That's when it's finally no. And I am violent enough to do that. So. Yeah.
Let me see if I can pull this up on... So we've got some images here.
This very close to my favourite Moon Knight outfit, isn't it? Though
it is very close. You just need it's very close. Shorter pants, Rebecca.
Just shorter prison trousers,
So this is as Rebecca, as we were kind of skirting around one of the big moments here where he does just this violence. He just gouges Mountain Marco's eyes. I'd like to think that, he's probably just like footy players, rugby players. He's just done a bit of an eye gouge, a bit of a poke. I'd like to think that Mountain Marco can.
No, I think
still
he's
see.
fully gone for it.
Oh wow!
Nah, he's fully blinded him.
Okay.
There's no chance. And then his little eyes are glowing at the back. At the end,
I love. I love this panel though. The one that you were mentioning. This whole thing. Look how maniacal he is, and when he reveals that this was his plan, I mean, this was a big thing as well, because for all instances, it seemed that he was caught, by Fisk's guards. He was brought to, to prison. Yeah. He was just taken out of the way. And you're right, there was a hole that a lot of the fans, in particular Moon Knight, were thinking, how come he was, taken so easily? But I just love how Jed has rationalized that, but saying, I came here for you, which is such a scary thing. There's this guy with a weird mask on strangling you on your back. So, so Russell says he did give him a chance. He did.
I mean, I think there's a level of restraint still there. And then when that's not enough, I was going to compare it to something, but I won't because I'll just get into trouble. Not even Batman this time. Oh. But another controversial superhero film moment. But it is a moment of like, you do what you need to do to get this woman and kids safe.
Okay, yeah, for sure. And I mean, we're going kind of backwards here though. But what did you make of these flashbacks and this reveal? I mean, this essentially is the big reveal. That for me, it was kind of like
I like the
really
reveal,
cool.
Like why he's in prison, but it's a little bit tropey, but it's fine.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, it is. But it's tropey, but I think it's written well. Like
it is written well. Yeah,
you can have these tried and true ideas, but you can, put a little bit of the spin is that Moon Knight's in the situation. And the utilization of the Midnight Mission into it, and his confrontation with Mountain Marco. It
does make me wonder given that it was a plan, like who did he think would be in charge of the Midnight Mission if, say, Zodiac attacked again? Like,
what do you mean? As in?
Well, like we know that Dr. Barda comes in to deal with Scarlet. But like, if Mark knew he was going to get taken to jail, or this was his plan, did he have an arrangement? Like, did he have anything sorted out? I don't think I'll ever get answered. But like,
No,
if Mark was planning ahead, did he close the mission for a few days and then
Reis
tell Reis to go to Bardra if there was a problem? I don't know. Like, tell Reis to go to Tigra if there's a problem.
I mean, it'd be good to see what It would actually be good to.
Terrible planner, and he just thought they'll be all right.
Yeah. I know, it would be great to see the lead up to it. Actually, I mean, I don't know if that would make an issue worthwhile, but it'd be good to just to plug the holes in that. Russell saying, I'm assuming it was Russell or Justin saying, I don't think Houston's Mooney would have given him a chance. Yeah, I think there is as Rebecca said, there's a slight restraint within Jed MacKay's Moon Knight. That comes into full fruition by issue 9, but
probably what therapy does for you.
Yeah, exactly. Which is great. I mean, and I'm hoping that they somehow link that or associate that with the Sturman sessions, because at the moment we get them side by side, which is good, and we're seeing the fruits of those sessions. But yeah, it'll be fun to just like get that acknowledgement of those sessions actually contributing to the change of behaviour. Yeah. And of course, there are some really great one-liners here. I like the I came in here for you, which is, as Rebecca said, slightly tropey, but it was such a cool, scary moment.
It was so good. Like, I don't care by that point.
Yeah. And this one, I'm scarier than anything out there. Such a big call. I mean, we're seeing, it's so funny because when I did read that, on this page here, Mr. Knight says that, and we're seeing Moon Knight in jail just doing absolutely...
being scarier than anything.
Yeah, but you can't associate it when you have Mr. Knight just in his suit, just at a desk. It's such a weird contrast of him being, so diabolical, but looking so dapper. And, of course, Russell MacKay's Moon Knight is an evolution of the character. Yep, that is... Yeah, exactly. I think MacKay has actually added to the development of Moon Knight so much, and I think that's why a lot of loonies like this run. So let me go back then just to the beginning there, Rebecca, and I'm going to just flash on again just for the great cover there by Rod Reis. So that got all of us excited, and this 8-ball. I mean, in hindsight now, Rebecca, when we had our chats with Jed MacKay, it's so funny because he did kind of semi-reminisce going, 8-ball, He knew that he's actually used him quite a lot. He used him.
He did tease us as well, didn't he? Like say, oh yeah, he's got an interesting cellmate that I don't think anyone would get.
Yes, I thought it was going to be Man Mountain Marco because Jed revealed...
at that point, I just blank my mind for like guesses. Yeah. I'm just like, no, I probably will never guess it.
Despair.
Or Fool Killer. Like, why not?
Yeah, Fool Killer, of course. Oh, got to get that happening. But 8-ball, it's really fun to see him without his 8-ball head.
Yeah, and especially after, it's just such a great person to have as his cellmate.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know you touched upon, Rebecca, about the art here. Now, there's very much a Japanese anime, for me, looks like a Japanese anime kind of inspired art.
Some of it did, like especially Marco's wife, I think. I think, like, as we said in the other issue he did, it's got some beautiful fluidity. Mm-hmm. And it's a very different look for Mark's face. But my biggest issue with it, and this is so like petty and small, is that Mark's eyes change colour. So if you go to the next page, not the next page, go to the next one.
Next one.
Right,
and now
blue
here,
at the top
blue at the top,
blue.
And then do we get?
Then blue there, and then I'm just
glowy over there.
They're definitely brown at some point.
Okay.
But he doesn't have blue eyes anyway. And I'm just like, all right, get to the one with him looking in the mirror.
In the mirror? Yeah.
The brown.
What's happening? This is Loughridge, right? We pinpointed it. Yeah. The brown, definitely brown there.
And in the fight, in some of the fights, brown.
Brown.
And then one of them, they almost look grey.
Which
They're blue in one of the. It's just like they're just changing color. Yeah, the one with him in the mask. The title match screen's the next one, I think.
And this one,
they look grey.
That's grey. Yeah, it's changed a lot, hasn't it?
And then the next page, they look brown again.
There's no way that brown.
And then green on the next page if you really want to.
Yeah, because you could argue that blue and green, maybe with eyes, it can kind of blur between the two.
Yes, you're right. Blue and green, they can blur, but I mean,
not brown and grey.
Mark's ever had blue eyes, right? Like, no. I stand to be corrected, but I think he's just standard brown hair, brown eyes.
Yeah, contact lenses.
He does have very sharp hair.
He does have sharp hair.
I mean,
thank you.
Yeah, but why would he be wearing contact lenses during
undercover,
night?
Rebecca? I don't know.
I mean, but he's going around telling everyone he's Moon Knight. I mean,
I
just think it's a mistake that I was just caught up on, so I didn't notice some of the other art
definitely
stuff.
brown.
I love all the. I love some of the cross hatching and the.
I like the movement.
All the dots. Yeah.
There's dots, but there's a lot of like this. Look at this movement that you get.
And that's where it excels. I think. There's some other stuff with the detail that's.
Let's go back to. I want to go back to these ones. Like this was just like you could, and I was trying to follow the movements of Mark, and I think they're pretty much done well, as you know, between panel and panel what he does. So we got. As mentioned in the bare bones, we've got a slew of these characters, Rebecca. Mr. Fish, now, are you aware of Mr. Fish? Or
I do know Mr. Fish.
Where's he from?
Power Man and Iron Fist. I don't know, but he's definitely been in Power Man and Iron Fist because there's like a callback to it in one issue. I can look it up some point if you really want these references. But in one issue, he says like nobody messes with Mr. Fish, and they like punch him. And the next issue, they're kind of the next issue appears in. They're kind of calling back to that comment. So I know him from my Iron Fist reading.
Okay, no, that's good.
Many of the others.
As long as between us we know most of them. Boom slang rings a bell.
I think I actually have pictures of Mr. Fish, because it was so funny.
Oh, I wonder if there's a Mr. Fish podcast that we don't know.
I wonder.
Boom slang. It sounds like a familiar enough name, but from the liters of blood and him on the ground, it's hard to get a make of what he actually looks like. Yeah. So I'm not sure there. Loonies, anyone who may be watching now, if you know where Boom slang is from, please let us know. Kind of sounds like Serpent Society, but I could be totally wrong. I don't think. So Mr. Fish we get. Now, Killer Shrike we know. And, yes! Thank you, Mario. Mario, getting up early. Boomslang is a member of the... I thought so. I mentioned it.
Nice. Yeah,
well done. Well done, Mario. Now, we got some cool ones here. Killer Shrike, Rebecca, we know from Mark Spector Moon Knight. He's the guy that stuffed up Frenchie. Is a mutant. And Cactus. I know Cactus. Do you know Cactus?
Do you? No, I don't know Cactus. I like Cactus.
Yeah, it's from the West Coast Avengers 80s run. I think Steve Englehart, Al Milgrom, when Mooney was part of the Wackos. I love how Mark is picking out the
picking out the things. Yeah.
Needles from his hands. That would be a very...
That'd be very sore.
Very sore. Now, Massacre here, Rebecca. I could be wrong, but did you know Massacre?
I know the name. I don't know where from.
Oh, no, I'm totally wrong. I actually... I thought it was from Mark Spector Moon Knight, but no, his name is Chainsaw. It's not Massacre. I thought it was Chainsaw. Maybe association, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But Massacre, no, I don't know. Mario, anyone?
Apparently a Spider-Man villain.
Oh.
Apparently a Spider-Man villain.
Rebecca, your fingers on the wiki? Well done.
Yeah,
well done.
Yeah. Superior Spider-Man, apparently.
Oh, okay.
First appearance, Amazing Spider-Man 655. Actually, it's not Superior. I don't know why they put a picture of that. But, he's on the cover of Superior Spider-Man. So his first appearance, Amazing Spider-Man 655, April 2011.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's quite a while ago. Far out. Over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
just like yesterday. Russell again. I'll be collecting all of Cactus's appearances. Well done, Russell. Well done. Please
I'll be
do.
collecting all of Mr. Fisher's, but I probably have most of them.
Yeah, you could claim that you have all his appearances. And Mario, thank you for.
I just looked it up, and he's apparently a Power Man villain. So
okay, so he is
I
a.
know him.
Okay, Mr. Fish, such a weird.
I was right, effectively.
Yeah, nice one. But that's such a weird. He's such a weird villain for Power Man. Far out.
There's some really weird villains in the original Power Man run.
Oh yeah, I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Mario again. I recall Massacre was one of the fringe candidates.
Yes, he was.
Ah, okay.
I saw a few people suggest him because Jed had talked about Spider-Man villains. I think.
Yes, yes. So good. Well remembered there, Mario. So yeah. And I think those were all, and then of course Man Mountain Marco, Spider-Man villain. Of course, from the early days. Now, I don't know, Rebecca, any notes that you want to mention based on like the writing or themes?
No, I thought the writing was pretty good.
Yep.
I liked it.
Yeah,
it worked. It was like it got the job done in the time they had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I thought it was really.
I really liked some of the nice touches, like him standing up for 8-Ball. And
yes.
I think the only thing I didn't like was that about the Avengers and Fantastic Four, and like you said, that's probably what he thinks.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But also, we are just coming off Age of Khonshu, so.
Yes, of course, and he really did stuff up a lot of people there as well.
Yeah. Like we already know T'Challa's keeping an eye on him, things like that. So they're definitely suspicious of him.
Yeah. Or suspicious, or at least it's kind of to me, it's kind of like the Avengers are like to use the wild dog analogy, like a dog owner, just trying to make sure that their pet or dog Moon Knight is not going too crazy.
It kept in check.
Yeah. Sorry, just a couple of other references here that I just wanted to call out. So this was a nice little beginning. 8-Ball wanting to, I guess he's scared of Moon Knight, so he wants to quickly get into a gang because he just discovers that Moon Knight is his cellmate. So he asks the Wrecking Crew. They don't want him at all. It's a little bit small here on the screen. Then he asks the Enforcers, and the third one, I didn't really know who they were.
The Death Throes. No, I didn't.
Death Throes, yeah. I'm not too sure about the Death Throes. But the others, the Wrecking Crew, Thor, you'd say were Thor villains, I guess. And Enforcers, definitely a Spider-Man again. So a very akin to Spider-Man lore with a lot of the characters that Jed is looking at. As well. Captain Confusion.
I just looked up the Death Throes.
Yeah, who are they?
They're the brainchild of Charles Last, the ringleader, a criminal juggler.
Wow.
They're Captain America. They first appeared in.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So there's a few Captain America ones here. Boomslang.
I just like the idea of a criminal juggler. I'm like,
that's crazy. And
very
Mario.
Taken with it.
Right on the ball. The Death Throes are juggling villains, Rebecca. Juggling villains.
Perfect. Now they're my new heroes.
Absolutely. I got vibes of high school as well, Mario. So Mario says this feels more
There's
like
only 8
at high school.
appearances of them, so
get them quick.
That might be another one. Oh, one of them's in Loki, Agent of Asgard, which I actually have read. So.
Check out eBay, snap them up quickly before they're gone. Captain Confusion as well, Rebecca. This guy I did not know at all, and he looked very.
I didn't know him either, but I love the name.
Yeah, well, he's one of them that unfortunately has the crescent moon carved into his head, so he didn't get away from Mooney there. But Captain Confusion, I don't know. Again, Mario, I'll throw it out to you. Do you know? Poor Mario, he's probably just woken up. It's very early in the morning for Mario. I think he's new. Okay, well, that's what Mario has said.
He doesn't come up for anything, so proper new appearance for everyone. So key issue.
Everybody, pick it up. Pick it up, everyone, before it all goes.
Don't speculate. It's terrible. Don't speculate.
No,
Terrible
you're
thing
right.
to do.
You're right.
Buy comics you want to read.
Exactly. Yeah, and just enjoy the events and
Don't
the
listen
stories
to
that
me.
they give.
Do what you want.
I'm going to get them all, Rebecca. I'm going to collect them all.
I know you are.
Look, going back as well, I'm not even sure. I don't think, and I didn't do my homework, I don't know if there is a variant cover for this one shot. I don't think for one shots they...
There is. Yeah.
Okay.
There is,
Fantastic.
because I spotted it when you were when I was looking at the. Let me have a look.
Let me
credits.
let me have a look as well. Yeah.
Variant cover by Leinil Francis Yu and Sunny Go.
Ooh, that's pretty cool. Let me see.
It's a pretty nice cover if I remember rightly.
Yeah, I can see a little thumbnail of it. Oh yeah, there it is. Let me see if I can. Oh yeah, there's a huge fight. How am I going to show this? Here we go.
I just love Reis, so I was never gonna.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes, if you just bear with me. Alternate covers. Maybe not. Maybe don't bear with me. No, don't worry. Don't worry. We can put it up.
Don't worry about
a bit later on.
Look,
it looks really good.
In the show notes.
Yeah, it's really good. It's
Ray will.
It's just Moon Knight fighting amongst some...
I'm sure it's on the Facebook page somewhere.
Yeah, it probably is. So go check it out there, people. Yeah. So Rebecca, if there's no any other final thoughts on this issue?
No, I think that's me.
I'm looking forward to Moon Knight showing. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing Moon Knight in more of Devil's Reign, although I do know that Mario said that he's not in issue 5. I'm hoping he shows up somewhere else.
Yeah, I've not read that yet. So it was really good to get that heads up. But I hope we get him in the the final issue.
Yes,
least, because,
isn't there an Amiga?
If he talks about them wanting to,
yeah,
there is an Amiga as well.
Okay.
If they talk about him wanting to use him as a wild dog, maybe that is part of the plan, and we'll get to see that.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, no, I can't wait for that. So no other. If we don't have anything else to say, Rebecca, we could go straight into our marking. Konoshi's rating system. What would you give this Devil's Reign Moon Knight, the one shot, number one and only?
I gave it 7 out of 10. A solid round boy.
Solid
Some of
round.
That was because of I didn't like the eyes changing colour.
But fair enough. I mean, that would be disconcerting if you did notice it straight away and it just kept on changing. So, fair enough. 7 out of 10. I gave it a little bit more, 8 out of 10. I'm not typically a fan of this sort of art, but I kind of warmed to it during the issue, and it was just, there was some kick-ass images like the last one here of Moon Knight, just restrained. There was a lot of blood, a lot of gore, well, a bit of gore towards the end, but yeah, it's I enjoyed it. As Rebecca said, I think pretty much summed up it. It is kind of tropey, the story. There's nothing new or flash with it, but Jed does kind of make it his own, and he does make it a Moon Knight story. So, and he kind of rationalizes all of the things of why Moon Knight is part of Devil's Reign. So I really did enjoy that as well. Yeah. Mario, Moon Knight versus Purple Kingpin. Moon Knight, I guess, versus Purple King. Yeah, that would be very interesting indeed.
Yeah, that'd be terrifying.
Yeah. So Russell there, giving a bit of a teaser for Tomes of Evil. Yes, there's a lot of villains there, Rebecca, that will scare you. So there you go, listeners. 8 out of 10 and 7 out of 10. Now we do have some. Let me take this away. We do have some night lines to
let's go for it,
to finish off. And what I'm going to do, and chatting with Noel, I think, Rebecca, I'll go straight into the voicemails first.
Yeah, do it. Let's
just to break up, break up the thing. So here's from Noel first, and bear in mind, Noel, just a little message. Your files come out anyway. Have a listen. Here we go, Noel.
Hey guys, it's Noel, just giving you my quick review of Devil's Reign Moon Knight. Number 1, I don't think there's going to be any others. At first I thought this was going to be a bit of a throwaway story, because it doesn't really seem to... I didn't really see how it was going to wrap into MacKay's run other than having 8-Ball in it. And it seemed, I was right as I was reading it, seemed just like a little trip down memory road through some of Moon Knight's rogues and fun Easter egg. Carved a crescent moon in your forehead. But it turns out it's actually a bit of a story, and we get our favorite villain from Tomes of Evil, the Man Mountain Marco. It seemed all of a sudden a little bit more poignant than I thought it was going to be. At first I thought it was just being like, yeah, Moon Knight's violent, oh yeah, he's going to love it in jail where he can beat up criminals and he's violent. The little twist of it turning out that he's actually saving Marco's family from himself. Kind of cool. And I did like the fact that he, won in the fight, and kind of actually a fun little story at the end of the day. My major gripe with it is this art. I don't really like it. It's a little too anime for me. When he did the fill-in issue, I thought it seemed to fit, and this one seems to be really out of character for the Moon Knight run. I mean, there's even like flash action in the back or surprised motions in the back that they do in anime, and I'm just not really digging it at all. Which is too bad, because I actually ended up really liking the story. It was worth going to pick up at my local comic book shop. So, like I said, I'll keep this quick. Like the story, didn't like the arts. I would give this maybe a 6.5. So a stinky yellow duck. Just can't wait to hear your guys' thoughts. And love ya. Bye.
Thank you so much, Noel. Very much sounding like someone that has put a handkerchief over the phone and has a bottle of chloroform just waiting to get you.
I thought he sounded like he had a bit of a... Well, he woke Ozzy up. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, Russell as well says Noel sounds like the Riddler in the new film. And like Rebecca, you'd probably know what that means. I don't, but that's hilarious. Well done. No, thank you. A scary voice aside, Noel, and he is one half of the Velvet Drapes. Thank you so much for the feedback. Yeah, Rebecca, I guess some people weren't taken with the art. It is a definite line in the sand with what Sabbatini wants to do. So I guess you either like it or you don't. And it's one issue. But yeah, thank you so much, Noel. Next, we do have the man here who has been leaving us messages. This is Russell, and he's given us... Oh my God, it's a long one here, Rebecca. It's on, actually, issue 9 and Devil's Reign. So let's hear Russell.
Okay, cool.
Hello there, Ray and Rebecca. This is Russell from Tomes of Evil, sending in my thoughts... I'll give my thoughts on... Moon Knight number 9 briefly, since I didn't get to send in my feedback last week. As someone who's been reading every Doctor Strange story in order, it was an absolute shock, and I was giddy to see the House of Shadows, which was in a Doctor Strange story, and one of my favorites of that era. It was really cool to see that, and I loved how Moon Knight reasoned with the house, and now it's the Midnight Mission. Fantastic art as always, and just, a kind of a filler issue, but a really good one, It was like, it's not your typical filler where you're just like, okay, can we just get back to the main story? No, this one was great. Now, anybody that listens to Tomes of Evil knows that we kind of have a running gag about Man Mountain Marco. So imagine my absolute surprise when I did an interview with Jed MacKay in December, and we brought up Man Mountain Marco, and Jed left us with a keep your eyes peeled. Yeah, needless to say, Justin and I lost our absolute shit. So, flash forward to March 9th, 2022. Mark's in jail. And it's so fantastic that he is cellmates with 8-Ball. And 8-Ball actually name drops the character that he debuted against, and that was Sleepwalker. Happy to see that. And Mark says those faithful words, "Where's Man Mountain Marco?" Oh my God, I almost threw my phone in happiness. I was just was so excited. Before we get to the Man Mountain Marco bits, the art style. Let's see. Who was the artist on this? Bear with me. Federico Sabbatini. Oh, that was the same artist that was on number 7 or 8. Anyway, really leaning into the anime style of art, which I'm not complaining about. It just is a little jarring going from Moon Knight number 9 to this. But no, I liked it still. Mark looking like a Final Fantasy character. And that's not a bad thing. It's just a different thing. We got some great cameos in this. The Wrecking Crew, the Enforcers, Fancy Dan. I'm sure Noel Looney Tunes Tate was thrilled with that little cameo. Let's see. I feel like there were 2 distinct callbacks. One for I'm not sure either of these were on purpose, but the scene where the bad guys pay off the warden or whatever to attack Moon Knight in the bathroom was very reminiscent of a scene in Zdarsky's Daredevil where Daredevil's drugged and lured outside to where a bunch of prisoners try to take him on. There was also a random Wolverine story in the early 2000s. I think, surprisingly enough, was called Bloodsport, where he was in this like martial arts tournament type thing, and the fight nights at the prison kind of reminded me of that random story. I'll have to look further into who the hell the Cactus is. Maybe he'll be on Tomes of Evil in the future. But let's get to the main event. No pun intended. Absolutely intended. Mark Spector, Moon Knight versus Man Mountain Marco. This was a hell of a fight, and I love that we found out that Mark was put in there on purpose just so he could get close to Man Mountain Marco. Poor Judith Marco, the Mountain's ex-wife, is trying to protect their daughter, who has gained similar powers to the Mountain, and she's only 12. So now that she has power, she's valuable to her, mob boss, supervillain dad. Mark beats the absolute fucking shit out of Man Mountain Marco. This guy has tussled with Spider-Man. Like, Spider-Man has powers. Man Mountain Marco has, beat him up. And Moon Knight just beats the shit out of him. It's there's a few times where Marco gets some good, shots in, but this is Moon Knight. And I love that we finally got our name drop of Bushman in this series, and it's just used as you saw what I did to him, well, I'm going to make it a lot worse for you. Marco refuses to take Mark's advice, and he loses his eyes for it. Whew. The scene was also kind of reminiscent of Rorschach in prison in Watchmen. Rorschach is not nearly as redeemable as Moon Knight is, but it is what it is. Overall, I absolutely love this issue. I was a kid in a candy store. I have to give this 10 out of 10 because Jed MacKay gave me Man Mountain Marco versus Moon Knight. That's all I could ask for. Everything else was great. 8-Ball being in there, the little cameos, the callbacks. It was so good. I want to see more from we'll call her Miss Mountain Marco, the daughter. Maybe in the future she could be a hero. That'd be interesting. She wouldn't be the first villain's kid to turn heroic. Anyway, thank you guys, and be sure to check out our new podcast, Gamma Charge. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much there, Russell, for all those thoughts. Rebecca, yeah, I think there's a little bit of flex there to explore Mountain Marco's daughter. I think that's pretty cool.
Interesting. Why not?
Yeah. So, no, thank you so much, Russell. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Brought a smile to my face when we saw Mountain Marco, because we know that you and Justin, it's your favourite.
So bad.
Yeah, so it was a nice little nod for Jed, for him to include that in there. That was pretty cool. She could play date with Dietrich, as Mario said. Absolutely.
Well, I was going to say they could have a rematch, Dietrich versus
oh gosh,
Mini Marco.
Bloody match between two. That would be something. Yeah. For those of you that are tuning into the live stream, you are treated to something special with Ozzy. Absolutely, just going to town.
After Noel woke him up, he can't get enough of the camera now.
Oh my gosh, he was really going for the mic and your face there, Rebecca.
He had a good old cuddle. He
had a good cuddle.
Window.
Sitting
on my desk here, so
I love those cuddles, and the cat's just they're looking for attention. Anyway, Rebecca, before we go, a huge thank you to those voicemails from Noel and Russell. We do have some stuff from our Facebook group and otherwise. Rebecca, would you kindly kick us off? We've got some here from some regulars as well.
Pick up the cat.
Maybe Aussie.
From Mario Di Giacomo. I'm deeply divided mind about this issue. While the story is strong and uses the Devil's Reign event to move the character forward, the art really lets it down. The faces are cartoony and often indistinguishable. For example, in the brief shot of the hero's table, you can only tell Reed Richards. Only Reed Richards is distinguishable due to his beard.
I didn't even see that.
He's not. I mean, obviously, you guess Sue Storm because it's next to Reed and blonde. She is next to Reed and blonde, but Reed is distinguishable mostly through his hair. The action scenes are also a bit hard to work out in spots, but there's enough clarity to get the general gist. That being said, the exploration of Mark's violent side is fascinating and puts a very different colour on the 2006 run. I give this a 3/4 moon.
Yes, thank you, Mario. That cleaves both Rebecca and my mark right down the middle. So 7.5 there, 3/4 moon, and good pickups with the likes of the background. Yeah, art as well. It seems, as mentioned, it's not everyone's cup of tea, unfortunately. We've got one here from Corey Hardiman. A big shout out to Corey Hardiman, creator of Sister Mercy. hands down, without a doubt, one of the best, if not the absolute best comic I have ever read. That is a huge call.
Huge compliment.
and compliment, absolutely. I would have preferred a different artist, but as far as writing goes, it does not get any better than this. This comic should be a must-read for every comic book creator out there. Thank you so much, Corey. And look, again, I just want to, in Sabbatini's defense, because I thought it was really decent art. I mean, we saw his artwork as well in issue 8 of Moon Knight, I believe. It's very different from Cappuccio's. It's very stylized, and it's fun, but
it's always a match of taste, and
exactly.
So there's no right or wrong about it.
No, absolutely not. But but thank you, Corey, and I don't know, just for the last couple of comments, I just wanted to give Sabbatini a bit of love there. So
so from Chad Jernigan, it's been a long while since we've seen Mark get like this, but that's really the point Jed hammered in. Taking Mark from the streets has always tainted his purpose. Jed really knows how to show off his understanding of Mark with the internal monologue and the calls back to Raoul. The art seemed out of place for a prison stint. It's all very heroic and clean. Nothing against Federico, it just feels like a disconnect. That being said, he really knows how to bring a melee to life. These colours feel very appropriate, kind of muted and repetitive tones with a bit of staining. It's nice to find out Mark came there on purpose. It's very in character, and his mission was absolutely handled in this spirit. I give this another 7.5 out of 10. I could have used a big, beautiful splash of Mark doing some real damage in the prison showers. A bit more violence. I mean, I generally agree with the colours, actually. I did like them, apart from the eyes. So.
And again, Reis really well by Chad. I think I mentioned it as well in issue 8 of Moon Knight. I think the action scenes by Sabbatini I found really visceral. There's a lot of movement. I think Noel mentioned it about him not being really a fan of that line work of that movement and the kinetic energy, but I like it. It really does make the bodies look like they are moving, and it's very hard to do in a static page. So thank you so much, Chad. Again, 7.5. Great. Don't we all want to see more scenes in the showers, Rebecca? Prison showers. It's
yes. I don't feel I should say yes to that.
Yes. Now we have another one here. Last one from our Facebook group from Lena. Those of you, of course, that are aware, Lena is part of a DID system. Also, a little shout out as well, Rebecca, you must have got the email as well. So the end of March, around about the time of the Moon Knight TV show, what I want to do is I want to share the video of that webinar about understanding DID. At the moment, it's only available for those that have registered and logged in, so the likes of Rebecca and myself and the others out there who have attended the webinar, we can see it, but after the 31st of March, it becomes open to the public. So I'll post that up on our Facebook group and all the other social medias. For anyone interested in wanting to understand more about DID, I think it's
perfect timing with me dropping then also. Yeah,
absolutely. So Lena does write in, and they say, I have mixed feelings about this one also, but for different reasons than Mario. I do think this story was very well written and is in character for Moon Knight, but whenever Mark gets to these levels of violence, it always makes me cringe a little. I understand, of course, that Mark's violent nature is not directly because of his DID. I know that Jed MacKay understands that too, and that everyone who is well versed in Moon Knight would understand it. But to the general reader who buys this issue because of the crossover, but may not be familiar with Mark's history, it's easy to assume that when a character has a mental illness and is extremely violent, that those two things might be linked. This is the reason why the Houston Benson run is actually my second least favourite run, second only to a certain writer who seemed to think that Mark's head was a toy box to store his Wolverine, Spider-Man and Captain America action figures. Don't get me wrong, I do think that the writing and art in the Houston Benson run was of high quality, but that run is pretty much the reason why people think of Moon Knight as one of the most violent superheroes ever, and it was also full of references to him being crazy and a lunatic. But having said all of that, I do think it was apparent, due to Mark's inner monologue, that he was struggling with his violent nature, like an addict who relapses. He wasn't exactly reveling in it like someone like Deadpool would. My favourite Moon Knight stories are the ones where he is trying to redeem himself from his past violence, so it looks like the upcoming stories are going to be interesting. Lena.
I agree.
Yes, thank you, Lena.
Ozzy gave you a big fat kiss during that.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lena. And yeah, I mean, good points as well. Unfortunately, there is that association, which does kind of link the two, whether or not that is intentional from the writers or not. But let's hope that, I mean, again, Jed MacKay is using superhuman menticide as his main crux for Moon Knight. How Khonshu's has given him brain damage. So yeah, it's, that's good. Interesting to hear about your thoughts on the Benson and Houston run as well. So thank you for that. Yeah. Sorry, before we go into that one, Rebecca, just hear from Mario. I saw the addiction parallel as well, but I wasn't sure how to phrase it politely. Well done, Mario, and thank you so much for dropping that in. Very cool. I didn't pick that up myself, but good pickup, Mario and Lena.
We did read it quite quickly, though.
We did. I'll read it again.
Yeah, we'll read it again.
Well, now I know I know.
No, I mean, look, the fact that two of you picked it up shows it's there.
Yeah.
So I'll be watching out for it next time when I read it. So.
Mm-hmm.
And then the final feedback from SK Metal on Instagram. I thought the art by Federico Sabbatini was a smart choice given how violent this issue gets. I'm thinking about the resolution to one fight more because of his art style. Okay, that's fair. That the art style highlighted it. And that one splash page with the mask was great too.
Yeah.
The reveal was solid. This really should have been released last month though.
Yeah. As we mentioned. So. Yeah, thank you so much, SK
I think
Metal.
it would have had a bit more impact, yeah.
And issue 9, I think, would have had more impact as well. I mean, not that it didn't have impact, but that would have been great. But great thoughts, SK Metal. The custodian, it seems, of the Instagram ITK account there. So thank you so much for all your regular feedback. It's very much appreciated. Rebecca, that pretty much ends this one shot. It's been awesome. I wanted to say, it was always in the back of my mind. Last episode, Rebecca, when we kind of signed off, you said, "Oh, look, can't wait. Hopefully, we'll catch up for the one shot." And I said, "Oh, hang on," and I'm thinking, I didn't mean that as in listeners that I didn't want Rebecca there. That she was assuming that she was not. No, it was only that we had previously talked about it, and we knew our schedules were very conflicted. So so I didn't want to promise anything.
I have to say, this one shot has been the Aussie episode.
This has definitely been the Aussie, and
Aussie
everyone
really liked this.
Go check out the live stream or the video for sure to check out Aussie. Aussie, I think, is a premium ITK mascot now. Little High Priest.
Yeah. I mean, he's been around I think almost from the start, if not from the start.
Yeah. But definitely the most visual out of all the cats.
Yes, he's the most clingy of all our pets. So.
We still have to.
No shame. So.
And we still have to gather all our pets together. I mean, I think we talked about that, and we're going to feature them
a
all
idea.
in a special. So anyway, Rebecca, a huge thank you. Again, it's been absolutely fun chatting about Devil's Reign. I'm going to read it again because, as I said, we've kind of flicked through it not that long ago. But I love the subtleties. Thank you, everyone, for your comments. I'm going to look out for everything that everyone said. Just loving it, being a Moon Knight fan at the moment. So
it's so good. And then next month we get Black, White, and Blood as well. So
oh my goodness gracious me. We've got to clear our agendas, Rebecca. There's going to be some issues ahead. I can't wait. Issues as in comic book issues. Any spectacles, Rebecca, that you'd like to shout out before we go?
No, I'm good. I just did a DCAU podcast on Justice League Dark. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, cool. Oh, absolutely, check it out. Alan Sharp as well, hosts with Rebecca. It's a really fun show. The side of DC as well, and animated. So
we
very
broke
cool.
Alan during it. We broke him.
You broke Alan.
Batman, so.
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
Poor Alan.
Yeah.
As for, again, just keep a lookout, Patronies for the March bonus episode. That's coming around about the middle of the month for that, so it just gives Ray a little bit more time to edit it all together. That will be available. Next phase, look, again, I haven't updated. Please check the phases of the moon. We're back to regular reviews, because we've had this great run of latest and greatest comic book reviews. Just check your phase of the moon, see what it is, and then cross-reference that with our flow chart, and you can see what the segment will be. Can't wait. Should be fun.
Hey Ray, the next time we chat, will it be for Moon Knight the TV show, episode 1?
Oh my gosh. Oh, is it? It's 20
I
days.
think so.
Is it? Oh my
so.
god.
Well, there's not another issue.
That's crazy. Unless,
unless we do something else in between. But I mean,
wow.
There's a good chance that the next time.
There's a good chance. Oh my gosh. That's so cool. And again, watch parties are going to happen. Watch it by yourself, Loonies, and come join us for a rewatch. It's going to be so much fun. So check all that out very soon. A big thank you again to our patronies, the likes of Daniel, Drew, Justin, Derek, Frank, Kyle, Wayne, Jordan, Josh, James, Anthony, Russell, Michael, Mario, Gavin. I've got a colleague called Gavin, so sorry, Gavin. Gavin and Matthew. Matthew Howell from Werewolf by Night. Isn't that awesome?
Wow.
And there's Ozzy again. Awesome. Is Ozzy scared of werewolves? I'm not too sure.
I don't think Ozzy's scared of anything.
No, not at all. Definitely not scared of the camera.
No.
Please check out patreon.com/ITK Moon Knight for all the bonus incentives. I'm really trying. I've got a little bit of a backlog of raw material that I want to upload to all you patronies, so please check it out. Mario, vice versa. Sorry, I missed it. Please explain, as one of our politicians used to say. But thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mario, and everyone, and Russell for coming on to the live stream as well. A big shout out to CLZ Comics, collectors.com. Check out your database stuff. Oh yeah, werewolves scared of Ozzy. Yeah, definitely. Ozzy is, yeah, exactly.
Probably.
Werewolves are
you've
scared
seen
of
what
Ozzy.
He's like.
Yeah.
They'd be like, "Hi, I'm a big scary werewolf. Let me cuddle you."
Exactly. The cat without fear. That's exactly it.
That's his name.
So CLZ Comics, go check it out, collectors.com. For a measly sum, you can order and catalogue your comics. Big shout out to Daniel Doing of Fringe Night. Please check out his comic book, patreon.com/Fringe Night 27 to support his stuff. Drew Toombs is Toombs on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Toombs, or his other band moniker, I guess Lurk Music with a CK at lurkmusic.bandcamp.com. And finally, Dreamland Comics, use the code MOON to get 20% off their online store. And finally, a big shout out to the collective. Again, I'm going to shout out the DCAU Rebecca, the DC Animated Universe podcast. Go check out Rebecca on that. And Alan, of course, quite a cool chat between the two. Also, EMP, Earth's Mightiest podcast. They do X-Men and Avengers stuff. And Ghost Spider Groupies, Pax and Abigail, doing Spider-Gwen stuff. Very cool stuff indeed. And finally, please, it's great to hear from everyone. The TV show's coming, as Rebecca says. We've got new comics. Drop us a line. Let us know what you think. We love to discuss it. Feedback at itkmoonnight.com. Sorry?
Yeah, as I was saying, send us all the feedback,
Send
even
us
if we have to
all.
do extra podcasts to read it out.
Oh, absolutely. I'm happy. Mailbag. I want a big sack of email. Website, itkmoonnight.com. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Discord, Get Vocal, and Podchaser. And with Podchaser, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, all that sort of pizzazz. If you could leave a rating, that would be cool. That will just get us out there a bit more to find any other loonies who want to tune in. So with that, Rebecca, I've got to set up my outro here as well. You'll be amazed. No, it's good. It's from Chris.
I want to see it.
So thank you once again, Rebecca. And
thank you.
And as always, may Conchu watch over the denizens of the night. Catch you later.
Moon Knight and affiliated characters, stories and events are properties of Marvel Characters Incorporated. Materials used and discussed within the podcast are intended for critique and review purposes only under the fair dealing concept of the current Copyright Act. The views, information or opinions expressed during the podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of the copyright owners.